Okay, hello everyone. I'm just going to go through some more complicated questions with parallel and perpendicular lines. So let's look at our first question. Work out the equation of the line which is parallel. And I know that parallel lines, these are examples of parallel lines, they have the same gradient because they have the same steepness, is parallel to y equals 2x add c and passes through the coordinate 1, 4. So a line which is parallel to this. Okay, well I know that straight lines are always in the form y equals mx plus c, where m is my gradient. My coefficient of x is my gradient, m is 2 for this. Work out the equation of the line which is parallel to this. If I know that equations of straight lines are always in the form y equals mx plus c, and I'm told that it's parallel, so it must have the same gradient as this bit, therefore I know that it's going to be y equals 2x. My problem is I don't know what my y-intercept is. Well, that's where we'll use this. Let me move this down. That's where we'll use this piece of information here. This is my x-coordinate. This is my y-coordinate. So y equals, apologies, I'm going to substitute in x equals 1, y equals 4 into y equals 2x add c, because I don't know what my y-intercept is. So what's that going to look like? Okay, y is 4, I've said, because my y-coordinate is 4. So instead of y, I'm writing 4 equals 2 lots of 1 plus c. 4 equals, well, 2 lots of 1 is just 2 plus c. Solve to find c. So I'm going to take away 2 on both sides. 2 equals c. I know my y-intercept is therefore 2. I'm going to get y equals 2x. And I've just worked out that my c is positive 2. So y equals 2x add 2. Think about what I did. I knew that my gradient was the same. So I'm going to write y equals whatever the gradient of the line given is. But I don't know what my y-intercept is. Substitute in my x value, substitute in my y value, solve to find c, write out my new equation. Okay, I'd like you to have a think about the next question yourself. See if you can complete it. So pause the video here and then I'll go through it with you. Okay, unpause. Let's have a look at this question. Just clear my throat. Work out the equation of the line which is parallel, so has the same gradient as this one here. Y equals 3x minus 1 and passes through the coordinate 2, 7. Exactly the same steps. I know every straight line is going to be can be expressed in the form y equals mx plus c. Y equals, if the lines are parallel, they have the same gradient. So I know it's going to be 3x. Problem, I don't know what my y-intercept is. But I'm given a coordinate. I'm given this x value and this y value. So I'm going to sub x equals 2, y equals 7 into y equals 3x add c. So we are going to get, instead of y, I know my y value is 7 equals 3x. I know my value of x given in my given coordinate is 2 plus c. Therefore 7 equals 6, add c. Solve to find c. C equals, these cancel, 7 minus 6 is just positive 1. Write out my equation of the line, y equals 3x. And I've just worked out that my c is positive 1 this time. This is how I would do that. Okay. The other topic that we touched on was perpendicular lines. So let's read the equation, obsessed with equations. Question, that's the word I'm looking for. Work out the equation of the line which is perpendicular to this line and passes through the coordinate 1, 4. Okay. So I know that, well, perpendicular lines meet at 90 degrees. And I know that the gradient of a perpendicular line is negative the reciprocal. If you're not sure on that, have a look at last lesson. So I know lines are in the form y equals mx plus c. And if this is my gradient of the given line, and the line that I'm going to work out is perpendicular to it, I know that the reciprocal of 3 is 1 over 3. It's positive 3, so it's going to be negative. This might be a little bit fiddly. Negative 1/3 x plus c. So, okay. Now, exactly the same steps as before. I'm given an x coordinate and a y coordinate. So I'm going to substitute x equals 1 and y equals 4 into y equals minus 1/3 x plus c, x equals 4. Okay, so x equals 4, sorry, y equals 4 equals negative 1/3 times x, which is, in this case, is just 1, okay, plus c. So 1 times, essentially negative 1 there, yeah? So I'm going to have negative 1/3. Remember, when I'm multiplying something by 1 or by 2 or whatever, I'm multiplying the numerator of the fraction. Plus c. Let's move this down. Plus c. Then solve, so I'm going to add 1/3 on both sides. Now, if you want, you can leave this as an improper fraction, but the easiest way to probably do this is what is 4 add a third? Well, it's 4 and 1/3 equals c. Finally, therefore, work out the equation of the line which is perpendicular to that. Well, if it's perpendicular, my gradient is going to be negative the reciprocal of the given line. And I've just worked out by substituting in my coordinates, my coordinate pair, that my y-intercept is 4/3. So it looks a little bit more complicated, but the only step that's different is perpendicular, negative the reciprocal. Yeah, negative the reciprocal. Okay, can you pause the video there and then have a go at the question underneath yourselves? Unpause. Okay, right. Let's have a look at this one. So, work out the equation of the line which is perpendicular to y equals 7 minus 2x. Right, okay, so this is in a slightly different form. I've done that to try to confuse you and passes through my lack of imagination. I've just given the same coordinate again. I know that this perpendicular line can be expressed in the form y equals mx plus c. In fact, what I'm going to do here, guys, actually, just so we don't get confused, I'm just going to put this in the form y equals mx plus c. So I'm just going to put the thing with x minus 2x, and that's a positive 7. This is exactly the same as the thing above it. I've just put it in a slightly different order. And the reason I've done that is so I can clearly see that my coefficient of x is negative 2. My coefficient of x in this case is my gradient. Okay, so perpendicular to this line. So negative the reciprocal of minus 2. So reciprocal of 2 is a half. Negative. Okay, so this is going to be positive 1/2. So y equals a positive half x, add c. Now, substitute in x equals 1, y equals 4, into y equals a half x plus c. Let's see what we get. Well, x is 4, sorry, y is 4, and x is 1. So A half times 1 is just going to give me a half, plus c. So if I now take away a half on both sides, because that's a positive a half, isn't it? It's going to give me my value of c. 4 take away a half is 3.5, or I could do that as an improper fraction. Therefore, the equation of my line is y equals a half x, because that's my perpendicular gradient to -2. And my y-intercept is 3.5. Or you could write that 7/2. That would still be correct. All right. Okay, I'm going to put one more video up. Have a look at this one first. Thanks, guys. Bye.